Do you want to read the mid-roll?
Mid-roll. Yeah, we got some blood relative stuff between Mikasa, Kenny, and Levi. A family of warriors who once served the royal government. They began to be persecuted after distancing themselves from the royal family. The details are unknown, but some experience a mysterious awakening and gain abilities exceeding a typical human.
I wonder what the fuck that is. Like, if the king's the king gets powers to erase people's minds, then why? Why did the Ackermans?
Doesn't it make you want to see what the king and the original Ackerman family member even were like?
It would be great. I want it. I would love that. I really like.
When's Levi gonna tell Mikasa?
I don't know. I really felt bad for Levi.
This was not a great moment for Levi. I mean, he's confronted with realizing that he does have a living family member and a person who he's going to come to understand did whatever made sense to them to be able to protect him. And in the end, you can't be too mad at that, you know?
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head last episode. With
the maid
being
Historia's mom.
Yep. Everyone had to be drunk on something to keep pushing on. The Titans or something to be drunk on.
Do you think Rod had to have an arranged marriage so that they could make sure that so he had to marry someone whose memory is from a line in the council whose memories don't get wiped?
Maybe.
So that they would already have an understanding of Titan power?
Perhaps.
Why doesn't the first king want humanity to survive?
And I'm like, the first king probably did. And in his own fucked up way. But I don't know.
The look on Levi's face when he gets the blood splatter, but then the syringe is thrust to him, and then he realizes that Kenny is dead.
Yeah.
It's when Levi is drawn with emotion other than a scowl.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Isn't it? And huge. I really feel it.
I'm so glad that No Regrets was kind of a canonically required thing to watch.
No Regrets has got to be one of my favorite pieces of fiction I've ever consumed. I loved the crowning ceremony. It felt weird to actually have a W in this show, yeah. You know?
That's what I was saying earlier. Doesn't it feel weird? Everything can be tied up now, you know? We have someone on our side in charge. We're all gonna fight back against the Titans now. But obviously we learn who gets thrown back in at the very end of this episode. Those other players we were talking about. The Beast Titan mainly.
Maybe it's massively important to have a girl in the front seat. If Maria Rose Cena, what if they're all queens? They look very similar in hairstyle and crown as Historia does here.
I think it's just the blonde hair. I'm just making a joke there because when we saw the three little girls eating, in all the pictures we've seen and depictions, it's been a blonde girl.
So let's the blonde girls, right, eating. If they all are Maria Rose Cena, did they eat what happened there? They weren't Titans there, so whatever they ate would have turned them into Titans.
It could. I mean, I am wondering if each of them are within the wall.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Titan form,
but
they were controlled, or they controlled all the Titans to create a wall around them.
But in order to be able to have control and stuff like that, you would need to be turned into a Titan and then eat someone who already has that power.
Which begs the question: can multiple people partake?
Yes,
in the eating.
But who did they eat? We saw them eating something to presumably become a Titan, but then they'd have to eat a person with that power to be able to control it, right? Or they just ate something that would immediately build a wall.
But they might have also been one of the first ways this happens. And the first way you make it happen isn't necessarily what's done now.
Yeah.
So.
We got confirmation that Rod turned into that thing because of the way he consumed it. That was really interesting. That it had to be done a specific way.
I guess if it's done a specific way, then you actually have normal, maybe, limbs.
Yeah.
And not a weird body. Oh my god, Historia punching Levi.
That
and
was
then
such
his
a
reaction.
great moment.
Oh, and it was almost like everything's peaceful because all of the friends are behind her. And
How
they're all
did we
walking
lose anyone?
together, and no one is dead. Hanji's alive, and everyone's walking, like, hyping her up. It's so cute.
It's amazing.
And then she just kind of gives him a little pop on the arm, and he's like, thank you all. And it's like, oh my god, Levi.
Okay. So after that, we got the scene with Reiner, Bertholdt, and the Orangutan. In my mind, it's very clear that Reiner and Bertholdt were arguing to go back to save Annie. And the Orangutan was like, nah, we're not doing that. They fought over it to see which route they were going to go, and Reiner got stomped.
That's a better understanding of what happened here. Because my first thought was, oh, are we all searching the rubble to figure out which house is Aaron's?
Oh.
And that was just where I don't know. It makes sense that they were fighting him.
I won.
I won. Okay. I don't know why I didn't
Saving
fully...
Annie can come later.
And he knows her name.
Yeah.
So, like, it's obvious that this is, like, a leader of theirs.
Yep. I think it's the leader of theirs. He's blonde. He could be Reiner's dad, potentially. I think that they're all from a different place, and Annie was too. And this guy is maybe the person who gave them the mission in the first place.
Right.
And I think it's very sweet that Reiner stood up for his boy, Bert, who has a crush, and he was like, I need Bert to be able to see her again. And look, he got his ass beat, but his intentions were pure. Retrieving the coordinate is our priority, as it should be. You know, it's interesting. Retrieving the coordinate is our priority, as it should be. They obviously come from from an opinion of they could use the coordinate without the Rice family.
Right. They think that they don't need the royal family for that.
Yeah. And so they could, whether they're right or wrong, they had the same knowledge as Grisha did. Mm-hmm. Which is,
thought maybe Grisha was with them.
Yes, because he had the powers to turn into a Titan. So, do you think there is another way?
I mean, I've already said that I think you can use these powers to some degree, regardless of royal blood.
Well, do you see Reiner opening up his little eye? I like them.
I do like them. Where's Ymir? Ymir didn't come with them?
Good question. Holy shit, good question. Is Ymir dead?
Didn't they say that they couldn't necessarily protect her?
Yeah.
I don't know why she would be punished.
Do you want to know why she would be punished?
Why?
Because she got punished in the first place. Wherever she was coming from, they were like, nah, you fucked up. I'm sending you off the wall. And they wouldn't want her back. They already sent her to die the first time.
But that's you guessing that they're from where Ymir's from.
I know. You're right. So Anna pointed out that orangutan guy looks, I think, arguably similar to Erwin's dad, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know we're going with the blonde people, and I'm like, well, okay, Reiner's dad too, but I don't know, they don't have the right dynamic. They're not acting like father and son.
Yeah.
And Erwin's dad has glasses. That has anything to do with a lot of people can have glasses.
Yeah.
But my thing is, all I can think about is the fact that in Ymir's society, wherever she was from, people that were punished against the king or things like that, or treason, were injected and thrown off the walls.
Yeah.
And we know that Erwin's dad did something treasonous and was tortured, interrogated by the interior police. And I'm wondering if this society, which is possibly the same as Ymir's, does the same tactic of how you dispose of people.
I think it's very plausible. I am on the side of things that I don't think this is the same society because we saw Ymir walk for so long.
Yeah, she could have just been running around in circles.
But I do think they look similar, other than the style of
I'd have to see
change.
the eye color. Because, like, it's just blonde hair and glasses at this point. And, like, it would make sense that he didn't age, you know, if he's been in Titan form for so many years, you know? He should be the same dad age to a child, Erwin.
Think about how strong he must be. Like, did he beat both of them? Or was Bert not able to transform? I don't
know. I feel like Berthold isn't really, like, a fighter Titan. You get me?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he could be easily taken down by another strong Titan. And I feel like you kind of have to use Reiner for, like, the fight.
So they know about the basement. Did Orangutitan know about the basement before Reiner and Berthold told him? Because they know that... Do they know that the basement's a thing?
That's a really good question. I don't really know who knows. Well, Sasha and everyone knows about the key.
Exactly.
They're all, like, they're currently, like, on the same team. So, I don't know. I think everyone possibly knew about the basement and the key.
If they knew about the basement, it would have to be before season 2. Right?
Yeah. Because
season 2 is when it started off, like, all the fighting and stuff like that. It would have to have been before then. That being said...
they were soldiers, so they would have known that Erwin had a plan. Every mission they sent out, like, Annie gets in the way of their mission. Where are they trying to go? To Aaron's basement, right? Or reclaim the territory? Yeah. So,
that was a practice mission.
Practice mission
to
do that.
To retake it, yeah.
So, I think it's safe to say that they probably know about the basement. That's why I thought they were digging for the basement. But it makes a lot more sense that they have a fight with the Beast Titan because they want to go save Annie.
I love Reiner and Berthold. Like, I know that, like, obviously they're, in a way, antagonists for us. But I like how their characters are written. I really appreciate it.
I would believe at this point that they probably have realized that Armin lied to them about Annie being, like, tortured.
I don't even think so. I think that they probably think that that's a possibility and that would push their motive to wanting to retrieve her as soon as possible even more.
Okay.
And I feel bad for her. Like, I feel bad in that sense, but...
I like Annie so much that I feel bad that she's just been in basically a capsule this whole time.
Well, it's an interesting point, right? So if you'd be okay with Annie being there, you'd potentially be okay with the other side knowing your secrets or being able to use that power themselves, right?
Right.
So they're willing to, like, sacrifice that, or maybe they're just like, oh, Aaron's about to be here in a second.
They know he's gonna head there, so they basically just have to wait for him.
I'm surprised that they're, like, so seemingly confident that they can use it. They can use the coordinate.
But they might not have a great understanding, because I feel like Kenny is from a family who followed the king and knew its secrets, and he thought that maybe he learned from Rod that he couldn't fully use the power.
That's true.
We saw him learn. So I think
whether that's a lie or not.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that Reiner, Berthold, and Beast Titan dude don't know everything or know if everything is possible. They're just probably working under assumptions and theories.
Here's an assumption and theory. Does the Orangutan want to destroy all the Titans? Like, they are obviously in opposition to the side that had been in power and had the coordinate for so many years, and they wanted to keep the Titans. So wouldn't that potentially imply that the other side would want the coordinate to do the opposite? Or do different?
It can't be Erwin's dad.
Why?
Because he was like, what's this ODM gear? And I don't know.
True.
Erwin's not that old.
Yeah, I know.
Like, okay.
But
it's just, I always try to connect blonde people, and that's why I was like, oh, that's Connie's mom, in that house. I mean, that ended up being true. So
what, like, do you think that the orangutan already has the ability to turn people into Titans? Like, is he part of the family? The royal family somehow?
The royal family.
Like, and he has an incomplete version?
Like a brother? Or like Rod and Yuri's uncle?
Like the king who built this civilization had a brother or a sibling.
Like the first king's family, and he objected to what the first king was doing? Is that what you're getting at?
So it's like two different families. They're still the same bloodline, but they're in different places, like
Oh,
and it's
or they could have
generations later.
each been like ruling their own civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that Berthold and Reiner have no home to return to. So that could mean that wherever they're from has already been destroyed by Titans.
It wouldn't even mean necessary that the other person would be ruling it, especially if they didn't have the same power.
Right,
But
because they don't have the power to wipe people's memories or control Titans.
yeah. Well, Orangutan does.
The Beast Titan, for some reason, has some powers, and I'm not really sure.
I think he could be potentially Rice family.
To have possible powers,
The Rip side.
he has to be like that, without having taken a syringe like Eren did to get the armor.
Yeah.
Last couple episodes, I feel like he might have to be in the family line. That would probably make sense.
His glasses look different than our civilization's glasses look.
Yeah.
And is that purely aesthetic? Is it
a time period, maybe?
Yeah. So
So is he from a long time ago?
Or a different society?
Yeah.
If
fashion's probably different.
If you split up two humans in this two human civilizations opposite sides of the globe, and they both started from the same place, they're not like 1,000 years later. They're not necessarily going to have everything the exact same.
Right.
It would be slightly different potentially, or it's from an older time. I don't know.
I mean, we do know that you can be in a Titan form for a very long time. Didn't it really seem like the Beast Titan had been in his beast form for a very, very long time? Or
we
possibly?
said that because he said he didn't know what the ODM gear was,
right.
So that's what we assumed.
Do we know when ODM gear was invented? Because Ymir was in her Titan form for 60 years.
Yeah.
So we know that you can be in the Titan form for a very, very long time.
You can be a Titan for a very long time.
Yeah, you can be a Titan for a very, very long time before you are able to transform back.
Yeah.
But then again, can people who can transform back... We have yet to see any of them except the examples of the Founding Titan age super fast.
Yeah.
So is it only with the Founding Titan power?
Not the Titan ability itself, but like the memory thing. I mean,
so you could potentially live forever if you have the ability to turn back and forth from Titan to human.
Potentially, as long as you don't mind living as a Titan for a bit.
When Levi is drawn with emotion other than a scowl,